All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for an integration partnership announcement and demonstration. My name's Eric. I'm COO of Followup CRM, and we have Brian Cook on the Dataforma side. You want to say hello?
Hey, good morning, Eric, everyone. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, we're really excited about this partnership. Two best of breed technologies coming together. And what I'd like to do is just start off with a little bit of an agenda. So what we're going to do is do brief introductions. We have some follow-up clients. We have some Dataforma clients. We have some mutual clients that are here together. So we want to make sure if you don't know about follow-up, that you know who we are, what we do. If you don't know about Dataforma, you know who they are and what they do. And we'll talk about a little bit why we're integrating at a high level, and then we'll show it to you live. All righty. So a little bit about Followup CRM, what we do. We were built by a commercial roofing contractor, and essentially what we help you do is bid less and win more. What we do is a lead tracking CRM, basically. So at a high level, this is what Followup allows you to do. So whether it's a bid invitation, you're getting leads from emails or your website, all of that can funnel through into Followup CRM so that you can track your leads, track your bids, track your clients, and convert those into new projects. Now, that's really sales focused, and Followup is really good at that, and we focus in on that, while Dataforma, on the other hand, does really great at the production side of things. So that's why we're kind of linking arms here and bringing this solution to the market. So what I'd like to do is just hand it off to Brian to do a little overview of Dataforma as well.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. Yeah, as you said, when we first came out with Dataforma, gosh, I think it was 18 years ago now. It's been a long ride. We knew we were the best service management tool, but we wanted a system that encapsulated all of your business, because that was the issue. We don't want to have to look in Outlook for CRM stuff, and then Excel files, and then an accounting package, and then a separate service module. So we built a system that housed all of your all of your company's information. So building history, warranties, document storage, but we knew we were the best at service management. Recently, we've been adding, as you just alluded to, a lot of really great mobile applications for production. So mobile time card in the Dataforma app for tracking hours. So the employee, the job, even the cost code from the mobile device. Daily field reports. So now I know what my crews completed on each job each day. And these are even customizable reports. So contractor A can get different information than contractor B, whatever they feel is most important. And it could be safety checks. Just tell me what work you completed on the job. It could be change orders. And then when we see something like Followup with that initial sales tracking, like, hey, we don't really have a great solution for this. So do we think we can build it better than Followup, or should we just integrate so that we give our contractors the best possible solution? So we were really excited when you came to us a few months ago, and we think this is going to be great for both of our contractors.
That's great. So what we'd like to do is kind of visualize this at a high level. And so what we've done is we've worked together to create a typical process that we see at our contractors after doing, dozens and hundreds of demos. And this is where Followup and Dataforma really kind of fit together. So before the integration, the process looked like this. A lead or a bid comes in. Then Followup helps you qualify the opportunity. Is it a good fit? Is this something that we want to do? For example, some of our clients only do commercial. Some of our clients do only residential. Some do both. So being able to qualify that opportunity to see if this is something that you want to do. From there, you can do a takeoff, create a proposal, and then follow up with the clients. Because as you guys know, some of these opportunities can close in a week. Some can take a year and a half, right? So following up with the opportunity to make sure this lead doesn't fall through the cracks is really where Followup is really strong in, and then giving you those analytics to help you double down on what's working from a sales and bidding perspective. That's where Followup comes into play. Then from there, before the integration, you would have to manually enter that project once it's a signed contract into Dataforma to actually do the job. So I'll let Brian pick it up from here for Dataforma to walk through the typical process.
Yeah, and you're exactly correct. And it's one of the best parts about Dataforma, but it is one of the most tedious, the one-time data entry, right? So I want to make sure that if this person's name is, Sam Jones, do we already have Sam Jones in Dataforma? Because I don't want to recreate that multiple times. I want to know how many times I've worked with Sam Jones. So, historically, we've had to do that one-time data entry. But what we've created with this integration is the systems will check to see if there is a unique ID between the two programs. So it'll know, okay, is this contact new or is it an existing one? Is this building new or is it an existing one? So all of that, again, I use the word tedious just because it is really, really important to do it. But if this, Followup CRM can do it for you, it just saves so much time for our contractors that they don't have to do that in Dataforma, which is really great.
Right. So from here, let's see here. Now, through the API integration, Followup seamlessly integrates with Dataforma so that you can create your clients if they don't exist in Dataforma yet, or you can create a new building to do your new service project there. So that's essentially what the API is. And API, all that stands for is it's basically a way to integrate in the cloud, the two systems together so they talk to one another, to put it simply. So from here, I'd like to share my screen.
Yeah, and think about that, Eric, because now people, like you said, sometimes it takes 18 months to close a lead, right?
Right.
So I entered all this data 18 months ago. Well, now when I get the job or the service call, I don't want to have to retype it all in. So now it's entered in the Dataforma. I can use all of the apps and functionality in Dataforma to track that job through completion.
Right.
But even if it's a brand new person, they don't have to re-enter the info. The info was entered once and we're done.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you can actually, the great part about that is, there's a lot of mistakes when it comes to data entry manually. And so now you can trust that the data is correct because you're entering it in once and it's correct, right? So
Exactly.
let me share my screen here so we can do a quick walkthrough of Followup and then show how the integration works. All righty. Can you see my screen here?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So this is just a demo account that we have a Followup. At 10,000 foot view, what we could see here is your pipeline, your closing ratio, the contracts that you won right here in the middle, your bids, and then your activities. Now, a lot of you are Followup clients here, so I'm not going to belabor this. And if you want further detail, just reach out to us. But it all starts off when you get the bid or you get the lead coming into the business and you enter it in as a file, right? And so this is a list of all your project files and you create a new file. So here you have your project name and then you can put your address of the building in, right? So it pre-populates. Once you save that, you can see how easy that was. You can select the sales status, who's managing the job, and then the activities that you're doing to win the job, right? All of these drop downs, all of these activities are customizable so that you can map it to your process internally, right? So you can assign the account manager or estimator on the job. You can track if this is a residential or commercial job, whatever it is that you're tracking, we can help you track that information, store documents, photos, whatever it is about the job site. And then you can follow up with your activities to win the job, right? So let's say I wanted to contact this person. I can schedule my follow-up right there for Friday or whatever time you would like to do that. And then this date interacts with my dashboard so that you can make sure it's not falling through the cracks, right? So here's an example of a project that you can see here that I want to follow up with. I can follow up with the person on the account by clicking the email, and then we track the email back and forth between you and the client. So all the communication about this opportunity is tracked right here. So that's how you're managing your leads within the system. Also, we can track when you're bidding out to multiple contractors or multiple GCs by adding them to the company information area. So let's say, ABC company is a GC that you might be working with. You can click on that, see analytics on them, see how many jobs you have open, see your closing ratio with them, and other client information like that. So that's a brief overview of how Followup is tracking your clients, your leads. You have a bid calendar. From there, once the contract is won, I'll show you here. In our staging environment, let's see here. We'll just use this opportunity here. So you'll have this button that says send to Dataforma, right? And this pushes the information into Dataforma so you don't have to do that double entry. Now you'll see these options to create a client or create a building. If you tried to create a client and it already exists in Dataforma, it will give you an error saying it's already in there. Are you sure you would like to create that? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But we do that check and that reminder so that we can make sure there's no incorrect data in Dataforma. Same thing with your buildings. Now, with buildings, you might do multiple service projects at a particular address at a time. So we also double check that work and make sure that you would like to either add that building or not add that building, depending on what you're looking to do with this opportunity. So if I come here, I click create client, send to Dataforma, you can see created successfully. And then the button changes from create to view, right? And this view Dataforma actually links to the page in Dataforma where that information was created. So if I click on that, you can see that right there. Company was created. You can see that was taken right from here, right? And so then you can do with the company what you need to do with the company. And it will work very similarly to a project or a building. So I'll do the same thing here just so we can see that here. Test. Put an address in. I will save it. I'm going to send this to Dataforma, create a building. Created successfully, view in Dataforma. And now you can see that building was created, address was automatically populated in there. So it really makes it seamless, easy to use so that your company is now, one integrated system. So
yeah, and think about that, Eric. This is where people live in Dataforma, because in that building is where I have all of the service history, all of the bid history then. So if we're bringing that stuff over from Followup, I can still go into Dataforma and see the warranties and everything for that address. And then it'll be really interesting to see where our contractors want us to go with this, right? Because I know you and I have talked, and we can certainly expand upon the functionality.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, if you contractors tell us you want more, I mean, that's how Dataforma builds functionality, by taking direct feedback from our clients and then using our engineering team to build that. So
right. And Brian, you bring up a great point. This is version 1.0 of our partnership, right? So the way we build this out into every workflow is people getting on both Dataforma and Followup together, utilizing it, and then giving both of us feedback. Hey, it would be really great if Followup did this with Dataforma, or we want to push this or that, or pull from Dataforma into Followup. There's a lot of things that we could do in the future, but we need to do that with your feedback, basically.
Yeah, and that's email, phone calls. I know I'll be at the FRSA show later this week. I'll be at the IRE in August. I mean, if you're coming to any of these shows, come by, or just reach out via dataforma.com anytime. Yeah, and you'll get a hold of me pretty easily.
Perfect. Brian, is there anything else that you wanted to go through on your side there?
No, that was great. I think they can see what we built.
So I see we have a question here. It's not from you, Brian, because you know this. I have a question that says, are the two becoming one, or we'll have to pay for both services? We're not becoming one. We're creating a partnership. So yeah, we are separate companies, and you would have to sign up for both services if that's something that you would like to do.
Yeah, this is not a Spice Girls song, right?
Right. So yeah, if there's more questions, please post it in the chat or in the Q&A. We would happy to stick around and answer those questions.
Yeah, and I'm sure we can work out some sort of like referral or something between our two programs. I just spoke for Aaron or for Eric without asking him, but I'm sure we can figure something out. You know, if there is this great synergy between our two companies.
Right. Let's see here. So I have a question. Talk about the takeoff section of Followup. So really, it depends on how you're doing takeoffs at your company today. We integrate with other companies that do takeoffs. So for example, the Estimating Edge is a great partner of ours that we integrate with, and also Stack, who both specialize in takeoffs. So we integrate with both of those companies. And so you can kick off your takeoffs through those tools as well. So if you have further questions on that, let me know. We have a question. What happens when the client or building already exists? So yes, it will prompt you to decide whether or not you want to create it again. So actually, I can just show you right here. So we just created this, right? You'll see that you cannot recreate it from another file. But let's say I put in another opportunity.
The slideshow, Eric.
Oh, you are?
Yes. Hey, Diana.
So here we have the address, right, that is associated with the building in Dataforma. If we would try to push this over again into Dataforma, it will have a pop-up that says, are you sure you want to create this building again in Dataforma? Typically, you're going to say no, because you don't want to do that and have two of the same buildings in there. So we have that double check there just in case. Can we import from Excel? Yes. So on the Followup side, you can import anything you would like, from Dataforma into Followup from Excel. Brian, can you import in Dataforma as well?
Yes, we can import, all the same information from Excel, but the Followup integration just makes it easier. But yeah, if you have it in Excel and not in Followup, you could just dump it directly into Dataforma from that Excel file.
Great. So I think we have a question. Let me just create a copy here of this address. So in Followup, you can recreate, you can have duplicate opportunities for so let's say you have one building. You might do several service opportunities on that building. So you can have duplicate of the same address in Followup. Can you do that in Dataforma, Brian?
No, because we want the complete history tied. So the building has a unique ID. So right. We can all of the service jobs. So you can't replicate the exact building name in Dataforma.
Right. Yep. And that works perfectly with us, because you might do multiple opportunities from a sales perspective on that one building. So when you try to recreate this in Dataforma, it won't allow you to.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have another question here. So Sarah says, does the project or job name have to match exactly in Dataforma to recognize a duplicate? No. So we're mapping it according to the addresses, because that is it's the better way to do that. So from a technical perspective, we're doing that work on the front end, so you don't have to worry about that. Great. Diana has another question. Cost, how soon will it be available? So it depends on what plan you have with Followup CRM. but it's included. So reach out to us just so we can double check that you're on our standard plan for the integration, but it's available today. So we have a few people on it already and utilizing it. So reach out to us if you want to get started with that. Let's see, we have another question. What happens if you have multiple projects at one location?
Yeah, so remember too, right now we're creating the building and what we call the company file. So we're doing the raw data. You're going to create the project or the work order yourself still. So that won't be an issue at all yet, but that'll probably be the next stage. But then we have to figure out, do your follow-up types and subtypes match your Dataforma types and subtypes? So that one gets a little more complicated, but that shouldn't be an issue right now because the building and company is what all that upfront data entry is what this integration is facilitating for you. So you just have to create, I think it's 3 fields to create a work order or project in Dataforma itself.
Right. So you would pick up Dataforma as you do normally, right?
Yep, exactly.
Perfect. What else? Any other questions?
That was pretty good. That was a little slew of questions. Interactive.
Yeah, great. So if there's no other questions, let's see.
You don't get any ice. Yeah, right. That's like having gold bars.
Right. Any other questions there in the chat? All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining here. We'll have this, we have recorded this, so we'll post this on YouTube, social media. I'll follow up with an email. I believe you'll also get an email of the recording as well if you want to share that. But if you have any questions, reach out to myself or Brian. We'll love to get you guys set up and going with the new integration partnership. Thank you guys.
Thanks everyone. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate all the help from everyone at Followup getting this done.
No problem. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys.
All right. Later.